We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You know I blame it on industry. I blame it on my own hypocrisy. Education and politicians, no one's willing to step up and speak.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Pace Radio Show, and we are being broadcasted live here at paceradio.net. I'm your host, Al Graham. Tonight, Kim Cooper joins me as a joint host, and we have a guest that's fighting for patience, and I can tell you, there's patience and patience. He's also an author and a publisher and a person who has done so much to help people that we discussed this, as I said before, for nights, but tonight we've only got an hour and we got to get right at it. But first, Kim and I are going to have a very quick chat. Right, Kim?
Yeah, real quick one, because we're only doing 1 hour with Ted, so I want to get in as much time with this man as I possibly can. But we'll give an update to everybody on what's been going on with us, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just a quick update what's going on here. And that is Kim is normally not on tonight. Normally Julie is on. And tonight Kim's filling in as Julie has left the show.
Yep.
She is focusing her focus of her mind and everything. Her sights is on skunk in order to get that out there and to everybody as it evolves. And I know from the information and things that she has sent to us over the last 2 years, it has evolved greatly.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, skunk is her main baby, and that's what's taking priority right now. She wants to put all her energy and all her focus into that and evolving that. So she has left the network, and her last show would have been 2 weeks ago. That was her final show here at the network.
Yeah, that's right. So we wish her well, and you and I will be getting together and seeing what we're going to do. Talk to the rest here on the network and get some input and find ourselves a new host.
Absolutely. Wish Julie all the best with Skunk and any other endeavor she becomes involved with. Looking forward to seeing the evolution of the mag as her journey continues.
That's right. Exactly. We wish her well. And as I told her, I said we'll have her back on a guest and get an update on how things are going.
Yeah, for sure.
That's right. All right. Well, on to our guest so we can get as much time in as possible. As I said, our guest has been helping patients, and patience is focused been totally on patients. We'd like to welcome our friend and our guest tonight, Ted Smith, to the Pace Radio Show. Hello, Ted. How are you tonight?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing pretty well, thanks. Thanks for having me here.
Good. We really appreciate you taking some time in order to speak to us. And give us an update on what's going on. I know you've got yourself a busy schedule.
Life's busy, that's for sure. Sorry, Kim.
No, it's all good. I'm just trying to imagine, how busy you are with everything that's going on. Life has definitely been busy for you. And holy shit, update indeed. I didn't realize it's been like 19 months or something since we've had you on the show. It's been far too long, Ted.
I thought it was over a year, but life's pretty busy for me, so it's hard to keep track of some details at this point.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's too long, and so much has gone on with you in the last couple of years, the last 18 months for sure. Raids and everything else. So yeah, indeed, it is absolutely time for an update.
That's right. So,
okay, I guess we would have just chatted after the first raid then.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
all a blur to me.
And we were unsure where that was going to go. Now I've been following things, and you've been making strides, within your own province there. Last I heard, you were moving it up to the federal level. So for people out there that aren't aware maybe of what's going on, give us a quick overbite there of what the VCBC is, and what's been taking place there and the evolution there. Quick overview before we get into the meat and potatoes of what's going on right now.
Okay, yeah, it's probably good for a lot of people because it's a long history. So I guess over 25 years ago, I started the club here in Victoria, just living in a van with a pager and a pamphlet, and started to meet patients and do my advocacy work. And we've grown now to over 8,000 patients in a storefront that we've had for over 20 years now. And we've had a lot of challenges in that 20 years, or 25 years, including many court battles that we've been victorious in, and including our infamous Smith decision of 2015 that made edibles and extracts legal for patients and was one of the final straws in prohibition for recreational purposes as well. Yes. And so, the club's not had an exactly a straight line in its growth through this. It's been an up and down roller coaster for a lot of reasons, including personal reasons, where I lost my love, Gail Quinn, a few years ago to cancer, and took some time out after that. And so, and then coming back, I had a whole new situation to deal with legalization, which is something that we've been unwilling to comply with, given how many problems there are for patients, and how much worse it would have been for our patients had we just shut down our doors and left them to the current legal system for medical patients or recreational. And so, it's been quite the journey. In fact, we wrote a strategic plan a couple of years ago that's published on our Cannabis Digest website, something Al used to write for when it was a print newspaper. And the strategic plan actually even foresaw the raids as being almost a necessary part of our club's evolution with the laws. We could see very clearly that there was multiple problems with the laws that weren't going to change overnight so that we could quickly comply. And we rightly assumed that upon being raided, we would be able to lobby and stay open despite whatever pressures the government put on us, and hope for changes in regulations over time that would allow us to eventually turn the key into a legal organization here without at all compromising the quality of goods and services that we've been able to offer our members, and in fact hopefully improve them. So it was a very bold strategic plan, but one that at this point seems to be dead on.
Yeah.
So we've been raided twice, and then our landlord was threatened with eviction, or threatened with jail or fines 6 months ago if he didn't evict us, and we've stood our ground to all that, and here we are.
Yeah, and you've got a great landlord through this, right?
Well, it's been interesting. It was really our landlord's lawyer that we convinced to fight with us. And our landlord really just likes his money. He's, I don't think, honestly, fully aware of the situation. But at the same time, we convinced his lawyer that we've got some really good legal arguments, and that's all it took.
And then they backed away. They said, "Yeah, okay, we're going to let you stay." You had other issues. I find it a funny story that I was telling my friend about when we were discussing having you on tonight. And I told her about, when the people in the building found out through legalization that they thought you guys were just opening a dispensary there, and everybody got upset until you let them know that, hey guys, I've been here for 20 years and you didn't even know I was here.
Yeah. That was in the zoning hearing that we went through with the city.
Yeah.
And, the neighbors hadn't realized, because we'd never had a sign out front, that we were here, and was assuming it was a new application. But when they heard me speak about our history and who we were, they stood down completely, and we've been good neighbors ever since.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you're operating there 20 years. Nobody even knew you were there. You put a sign up, and then everybody's like, no, we don't want a dispensary or a cannabis establishment here. And it's like, I've been here for 20 years.
Well, and it's not even just a dispensary. We've got, pre-COVID at least, a smoking lounge.
Yes.
That, typically, there's a big, concern about the effects of these types of lounges in neighborhoods and whatever. But I was able to tell our neighborhood that we had a free, patient-only lounge that we'd been, sitting and smoking pot in like every day, all day, and you guys didn't even know it. So
Yeah.
You can't complain now, 8 years after, that there's some problem that you didn't even know was going on.
Where is that now? Because you've gone in front of the city, and you dealt with the city and the province end of things with that, with becoming a lounge. Are you looking for an exemption?
With the lounge, okay, yeah, because there's some. It's pretty wild how many levels of government that we're standing up to here. And so we had a visit a couple of years ago from inspectors with WorkSafe BC and the Vancouver Island Health Authority, and it was their intention to shut our smoking room down. And so we refused to comply, and took them both on. It was interesting how it went. WorkSafe, at first, was being really standoffish, and then I'm a pretty friendly guy, even to people that I'm arguing with, and pretty good at getting information out of them. And so at a meeting with Island Health and WorkSafe, I was told that WorkSafe was going to be creating cannabis regulations that would deal with cannabis in the workplace, because currently the rules are around tobacco. And so I said that, I asked to hear about them and asked some questions, and it turned out that there would be an exemption within these rules that we could apply for, and was told that exemption would be based upon whether or not the facility in question would make the workplace more or less safe for the employees. And at that point, I was able to determine that there's all sorts of regulations about particulates in the air, so that we would be able to have the ventilation in place for employees to be safe if there was smoking in the facility. Moreover, I said that by having a smoking lounge in the facility, it means that there's a lot more members and people coming and going from the moment we open to the moment we close, and that it makes the dispensary safer, because the biggest danger that we have here is an armed robbery. And if we've got a lot of members that are here with both eyes and ears, and are essentially owners of the organization as well, because this is their place as much as it is anyone's, that makes the work environment a lot more safe, because there's less likelihood of armed robbery, because they're not going to find one or two employees alone at any point in the day. So at that point, WorkSafe just backed down, and their lawyers actually were split on what to do about it, and they're like, okay, we'll just let Island Health deal with you guys. And so on the second visit with the Island Health inspector, it was pretty funny, because again, I'm just this really polite guy. At one point, he came into the lounge, and one of the members did a dab of shatter in front of him, and he was like, what is going on there? And so we have a volcano as well in the lounge, and I explained vaporizing, not burning plant material, vaporizing the essential oils was how I described it. And then I walked him out where we have a rosin press that we would let our members make small amounts of rosin that, they could bring their own personal in or buy something, make rosin right there and come in and use the dab rig. And I explained it as harm reduction tools that people typically couldn't afford, or that, you know, they'd be out and about downtown and stuff, so they drop in here because they can't carry these things, you know, dab rigs and stuff down to go shopping or whatever they need to do. And so, you know, the inspectors were quite insistent about shutting the room down and that it needed to be closed until I cited the Morgentaler case. The Morgentaler case is around abortions, and it was one of the first medical law cases that really distinguished what rights patients had. And so that was really what I used to build the foundations of this club on, because I came up with this club before we had any cannabis laws at all, right? Like, this month is a 20-year anniversary of the MMAR, and we were open 5 years before that. And so, you know, I looked at the Morgentaler decision, so I just started to cite patients' rights to access to medicine and to a safe place to use their medicine. And, you know, when he realized that there's no money being paid to use the space, it really is a private space, it's not public, it's a private member space. And they just kind of decided that that we weren't going to be, you know, punished anymore, that they would just kind of consider us to be within this really interesting sort of section that, you know, would still prohibit any kind of commercial vapor lounges from existing, but seems to be able to allow us to.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And then, you know, things were running along smoothly for a little while, and then you got raided.
Yeah, well, it wasn't without warning, because they came after other stores in Victoria. There was recreational stores that were sort of holdouts after legalization came in that continued to openly sell, like Trees. So, yeah, it was, I think, 3 months after Trees got raided that they finally came to us. We assumed it would have been a lot quicker, but it you know, took them a little while. Almost everyone else in town that was operating publicly illegally anyway had shut down by that point. And so, yeah, it was really just a matter of time before they came. We were quite prepared for it.
Yeah, it sounds like you were. There's no doubt about that. You seeing the article that was in Muggleheads as far as what's the result of all that raid.
Well, it is something that now we can tell people, I guess. You know, I'm still knocking on wood to a point, because they could still come after our landlord. But for our society, they had statute of limitations of 1 year to fine us based upon the value of the products that they seized. And that could have been hundreds of thousands of dollars from each of the raids, if they so chose to do that. Mm-hmm. And when we were being raided the second time, I asked them, I'm like, you haven't even fined us in the first one. And they're like, oh, well, it's coming, and now you're getting two. And it's like, oh, okay. They, you know, it didn't seem practical that would be how they would proceed. But, you know, I guess they maybe had hopes that a second raid would simply scare us out of existence, but it certainly didn't do that. And now we've passed the statute of limitations for both raids. And it seems unlikely that they would proceed against the landlord. And if they do, then we'll be going to court and fighting them in court. So, yeah, it's an interesting situation.
So all the money that they spent on those raids was for nothing.
It's a bizarre situation, but in the strangest of ways, those raids have given us an opportunity to highlight the flaws in the current legal system and to push for better change.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if we had just shut down and not gotten raided, then people wouldn't, in this city at the very least, know, you know, what some of the problems are, because we've gotten very good media from each one of these situations.
Hopefully they've
and support from every level of government and politics as well. that wouldn't have come out. And in fact, the threat to evict us, I think, was the final straw in bringing out such a swell of support in this town, in this city, that the bureaucrats within the Solicitor General's office realized that this is just not a fight worth it, that it's going to look very, very bad on them. And and so they've held back. And I it was because of these assaults, for lack of a better term, that they have looked bad, because we've just taken these shots to the head and just stood here and helped patients, and they hit us in the head, and we just stand here and help patients.
Yeah. Hopefully they've learned something from this, that not everybody's going to get bullied, as you say, into just, complying. There's people out there like you that have been doing this for so long, and you're doing it to help people. And to just demand that we all pack up and go away now, I mean, that's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's been pretty naive, that's for sure. But the whole system's been is so terribly organized. It's not like there's any one person in charge of it. So but it's been quite the journey.
For sure. Well, I'm glad you passed your year mark. Like, that's freaking fantastic news.
Yeah, we've been pretty relieved. It's like as the days go on, it sort of sinks in even more.
Right. Yeah. I was checking on your wall, on your Facebook wall. I see that you were presenting final payment for all this, so the club's been able to pay for the legal fees and everything to do all these challenges.
Yeah, there may be a few bucks left, but it's been around $120,000 that we've funneled to the lawyers so far. The work has been primarily around our exemption application that we've submitted to Health Canada, which is essentially our court case, because we anticipate either being turned down by Health Canada or applying for an injunction to stop the province from further prosecutions. And in either case, we need evidence that the federal government has denied or ignored our request, and that it was not done for justifiable reasons. Mm-hmm. That we because if we go to court later based on our exemption application, then we won't be able to submit more evidence. The evidence will be the exemption application.
Right.
So anything else that happens in court now will be based on the evidence we've submitted and any further supplemental evidence, because we're going to, now that we've got the bulk of this done, we're going to work on some other expert reports and other letters of support, because we just got a letter of support from one of our members of Parliament. Actually, I haven't even put that on Facebook yet. Because we're still pursuing the politicians to get their support, and other organizations as well. So, it's moving along still. But we've got the bulk of the work done, and I don't expect Health Canada to respond anytime soon. But for the time being, that seems just fine.
Yeah, well, the application is in, so you can say, hey, we have stuff pending. We've already been down this road now. We've passed our 1 year mark. I mean, chances are everybody's going to leave you alone and wait and see what Health Canada does, right?
I'm really hoping that's the case, that, the province has backed off here, and, they're not going to admit it. So, we're just going to have to, keep our heads down. So we're still ready for a raid here in case they decide that they want to try all over again.
Now, with this exemption, how long could they just ignore it and just ignore it and ignore it, or is there a time?
They could ignore it for 5-10 years if they want to.
So
there really isn't a timeline or anything pressuring them necessarily, right? So that's why it would almost take an injunction, which at this point we're unlikely to do unless they try some more punitive measures against us, in which case, it seems like an injunction, if they try to fine us or do something else, they don't have a lot of tools in the toolbox anymore if the raids aren't going to work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's,
Now,
go ahead.
Canada. Now we sit and wait for Health Canada, which could, as you say, take forever. But in the meantime, things run smoothly once again at the VCBC, touch wood.
Yeah. In the meantime, it really gives us an opportunity to, in a way, infiltrate or work with as many legal avenues as possible, so that we just gradually can shift in. Our biggest challenge is actually our kitchen. Legalizing our recreational store is actually not the most difficult thing here. We've got 60 products that we make in our kitchen, everything from suppositories to salves and capsules and cookies, and it's much more complex and cumbersome and time-consuming to have every single one of those products go through the legal system. And the processing facility itself is going to cost a lot more money than the store, with all their different requirements of security and stuff. I'm really hoping a lot of that just kind of eases off over time here. But that's kind of where we're going to start to put our time and money. We're going to improve our packaging and get all the packaging and labeling up to snuff and things, so that in many ways we'll be right in line with Health Canada's standards here, and not too long at all, because we don't have to pay the lawyers anymore.
That'll be nice, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be really, really nice. The hoops that we have to jump through with legalization are extreme.
There's so many barriers to having things done efficiently, and the government, certainly here in BC, has done everything they can to get their hand in the cookie jar, or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. But this is to them a real opportunity to profit, and it just drives the costs up and efficiencies. And so, one of the rules, for example, that needs to change for us would be to be able to purchase directly from a processing facility, and to be able to own a processing facility. The rules as they exist right now, you can't have a retail store and a processing facility, or if you do, you can't actually sell what you produce in your other company. It's
a little bit different. It's different here, yeah. It's a little bit different here in Ontario. We have Farmgate now, and so
right?
they can have like one of their grow facilities can sell product from where it's being produced right there. The thing there, though, is that it still has to be as if it goes through the OCS, which is the government end. It does that electronically, but it never actually leaves the production site and retail business. And that way OCS still collects their fees, and they're selling their own products there. Yeah,
that's the exact efficiencies we need. Like, we should be able to have our kitchen in the downtown core producing fresh medicines for patients. Yeah. But there's even rules that the city and has about where a cannabis production facility could be, and it couldn't even be in the downtown core. There's just so many different rules that need to be broken before we're going to be like, okay, this makes sense enough for us to comply.
Yeah, because as a kitchen, would they consider that as production? Because you're making products, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, I see it's the bottom of the hour. We're going to run for a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll get more into this conversation with Ted. What do you say, Kim?
Sounds good to me. Remind me to bring up Cannabis Digest.
Cannabis Digest. All right. Okie dokie. Off the break we go, and we'll continue our talk with our guest, Ted Smith, when we get back from the break. Till then, we'll talk to you shortly.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
BMA Hydroponics has everything you need to succeed. Visit our hydroponics superstore at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, and we'll show you how to grow your own quality cannabis for pennies per gram. We're open Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Call 613-967-9888. BMA Hydroponics. It's worth the drive.
The only way to go.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Are you interested in Canadian and international cannabis news? If you are, then catch myself, Kim Cooper, and Al Graham for our live reefer report on the Pace Radio Network, found at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or a commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Hello and welcome back. We are the Pace Radio Show and we are live here at paceradio.net. Tonight in the program we're joined by our guest Ted Smith of the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club and my joint host Northern Ontario Kim Cooper. Alright, Kim and Ted, we've been talking about the history, we've been talking about the raids, we've been talking about challenges before health courts and stuff, and getting your lounges approved and everything. Kim, where are we going now?
Well, I wanted to bring up a few things. Ted, you mentioned Cannabis Digest. I really loved the mag when it was in print, the newspaper when it was in print. For anybody out there that's unfamiliar, it was a great little newspaper, black and white cover that always had a really fantastic cover that was like color in. It was sort of, like those doodle arts that we used to buy in our youth and color them in. And I used to just look forward to that newspaper all the time. And it's funny because we just moved. I've moved back home home to my farm. And everything I own is in like 2 giant sea cans. And I've been slowly going through all of the cannabis paraphernalia and stuff that I've accumulated over the years. And I came across this package and I recognized it right away. I have an entire order of cannabis digest. I didn't even take the brown paper off of yet. I'm dying to bust it open because I don't know which edition it is.
Oh.
Yes, those were a great newspaper, and I know that people really enjoyed picking them up at the stores that I was delivering to them to.
Well, I have a whole shipment. I have a pack, a giant pack, a big square block, and I recognized the brown paper right away, and it's like, oh, this is Cannabis Digest.
Yes. Well, you know, I always say medical information and the stories and stuff like that never get old.
Oh, never. I'm dying to bust it open, but I want to leave it in the paper until I'm completely unpacked so I don't ruin anything. I mean, it's kept all this time. I have no idea which edition it is, but I'm dying to open it to figure out which one it is, and so I can color that newspaper cover again. Tell us about Cannabis Digest a little bit, because it is a favorite of mine.
Okay, well, it's a newsletter that actually we're going to be printing another one here tomorrow, but it's back to just a simple newsletter that was, after Owen got arrested, something that we turned into a national newspaper. And it published as a national paper for about 8 years. And it was a lot of fun to have. It you know, from the beginning, I'm a bit of an environmentalist, so I didn't want to have any color used in the printing of it. And then people started to color the front cover regardless of it being intended for that. And I thought, well, what a perfect thing to do. And so I tried to find all sorts of different artists. Certainly a few did repeats, like Georgia Tunes out there in Ontario. But yeah, it was really fun getting all the different artists to do that. And then when I kind of temporarily retired there, I went and finally had the time to go and color them all in. So I've got this wonderful collection of fully colored Cannabis Digest newspapers from all those years. And it is a neat archive to go through. It really documents what was happening on the ground leading up to legalization.
And they're so much fun to color in, aren't they?
Oh, they were, yeah. There's some amazing ones there.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I completely agree. You know, as you said, it's a good history of, you know, what's happened over the years. Yeah. And it was always enjoyable. Like you said, Kimmy, you like coloring the covers, eh? Wasn't that for a contest or something, Ted, at one time?
It was a contest at first, but then it was something that, honestly, most people were just into coloring and would forget to enter, or there was, I think, one point we even forgot to do the contest, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, like, let's just color. Who cares who wins?
It's a stoners contest.
Right? We all win.
That's right.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, it was fantastic. And the content, of course, was always awesome. I enjoy flipping through it. You know, I keep a lot of the old mags and stuff around, and every once in a while I'll pull one out and it's like, yeah, remember this? Oh yeah, remember when that happened? Oh yeah. And it's great to look back and where we are now, 2021. And wow, it's not what we thought it was going to be, that's for sure, but I didn't know if we would even see this.
Yeah, it's been quite the wild journey, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. To look at how far we've come and how far you've come. I mean, you've advanced us, Ted. You know, everything that you've done for patients has pushed everything we have forward.
Well, I've been in the right time and place, and it looks like I may have opportunities to take it to that next level even. So I feel really, really honored to be in that position here.
Yeah. You're an amazing guy with an amazing drive, and your dedication to patients, it stands alone.
Right. Yeah. And it's because of these challenges that you've been involved in, and other challenges is why where we are today, and you've got more ahead of you by the looks of it that is going to break down more barriers for patients.
Absolutely. I do have a question from somebody. Somebody has asked me, is this something that you're looking to duplicate elsewhere, or could somebody duplicate what you're doing there in other provinces?
Oh, certainly. I've done my best to try and help others that want to try and I guess mimic what we've done here. It's a lot more difficult now that climate's changed from what it used to be. But we've had certainly a couple other clubs at one point, but that didn't go very well. And in certain ways, I guess I'm a bit of a control freak. So at this point, the idea of having a real branch that we're not in full control of isn't really that appealing. But I'm more than happy to help coach people. Our operations manual for the club is on our website, VCBC.live. So anyone can go through and see the real nuances of the work in terms of how it operates on a day-to-day level. I try to be as transparent and informative as possible. And back in the days, I did help a lot of people with their dispensaries and getting them off the ground, and that was a joy. But then that obviously took off, and it was really neat to see for a while there all the different ma and pa dispensaries all across the country. But in terms of having another actual branch, we're really we've been through so much and so much internally as well. Like, you guys don't even know half the battle we've had internally here with employees and stuff. This has been one of the most difficult, heart-wrenching years I've had in my career, just internally as well. And so it's hard to imagine, having another location. That being said, if we get through this next phase and we, are able to secure getting licensed and having our facilities licensed, we hope to not only have clubs like ours across the country, but we want to have palliative care centers attached with some of them, so that we would have in more rural settings palliative care centers with grow facilities right on site that would be making cancer specific strains of cannabis and medicines right there, and fresh juicing and things. And we would have it as an on-site palliative care center that would be, kind of this integrated store cafe thing too, so that the, people could come and visit their family members and, have a tea and coffee and visit them and go walk through the gardens and be with them through the various end-of-life stages that a palliative care center has to deal with. But do it in this really holistic plant medicine, sort of focus. So we hope to have those types of centers built across the country, and partnering with as many First Nations communities as possible in so doing.
Awesome.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God! See, this is what I'm talking about. You stand alone, my friend. There's nobody.
I've never heard anybody come out of a vision like that, and yeah, nice one.
Well,
very good.
Just a matter of time.
That's right. Yes. Exactly.
That's why the provincial government stood down, because what we're doing is beyond reproach.
Yeah, well, how can they come after you? How? I mean, it's not possible. Like, Everything
Right.
you do is for patients. Like everything.
Now this takes it takes a team to do this type of stuff, and I imagine you got like you said, change of employees and stuff like that. But you imagine there's a team of people behind you to help to implement and push these changes.
Team, army, you could call it different things. But I have an overwhelming amount of support both here in the organization, locally, nationally, and beyond. It's humbling to think how much support I have.
Yeah.
And so, it's hard to say, how things will progress from here. There's a lot of unknowns.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point, it seems as though we will be able to follow through on these goals, and hopefully in so doing, help a lot of other jurisdictions come up with some better practices than what we've been seeing so far.
Yeah.
But it's a phenomenal position to be in, but we've gotten this far, so we're going to go for gold now.
Yes, that's what I want to hear, because if anybody can do it, you can. And along with your team and supporters, I mean, like you say, nationally, people from coast to coast to coast are aware of what you're doing, and we all support that.
Yeah. I'm on the club's website, and I've like through the Reefer Reporters, we've talked about pre-rolls being sold, and I can remember having an article about pre-rolled had a major drop in price, and it was originally $26 for a pre-rolled joint. I was floored. Here I'm at your website for your club, and it's $4.
Yeah.
Patients, unfortunately, are some patients are going to these licensed stores and paying huge amounts of money, and here, a club like yours, obviously compassionate pricing.
It's even more disproportionate when you look at the alternatives like cookies. So we sell our cookies for $2.50. They got approximately 75 milligrams of THC in them. The legal stores sell cookies for around $13, contain 10 milligrams.
Yeah.
So to get the equivalent number of milligrams, I think it's around $100 in cookies that you would have to buy from the legal store to get the same amount of milligrams that we sell in $2.50 cookie. And we have an emergency program here where if a patient doesn't have any money and comes in once a month, we give them $5 worth of medicine. So that would be approximately $200 retail value from the legal stores that we give away to each one of the members if that was what the type of product they chose. It's so disproportionate for people that need to use these on a daily basis. If you're talking about young kids in their 20s or whatever, fine, charge as much as they'll pay. But to, shut down the medical system that was supplying patients beforehand and force them to pay those prices is just completely, it's criminal.
It is. It is. And these cookies look good.
Clay is making them right now. She really puts a lot of effort into having beautiful cookies.
And your whole menu's right here on the website, whereas I've seen some stuff in the past where you had to become a member in order to access things.
Pardon?
I said I'm here on your website. I'm used to going to some places in the past where you go to a club's website and you had to be a member in order to be able to see what was available on their menus.
Okay, well, I guess we're just not very technical. But, like we want people to see because, a lot of members, or people before they join want to know what we're doing.
Correct.
And,
exactly.
We've always been very public. In fact, there should be a link on there somewhere to our old cookbook. We're working on a new one again. But we tell people how to make every single one of our products that we can. It's got to be updated with suppositories and a couple things, but our solves and capsules and oils and things, all that is right there for free available. I think now the easiest way to find it is if you look up our old name, the Cannabis Buyers Club of Canada Cookbook. Just search that, and we've prided ourselves on educating people to empower them, with this plant medicine as much as possible here. It's clearly, not about us making all the money.
Yeah, it's about getting out the information and the medicine to the people. And that's what it's been about for you guys from the start. What makes all of it just that much more amazing.
Well, it seems to be working so far.
Now, Ted, I see here on the website it says you do mail orders. So does that mean you take membership from across the country?
Cat's out of the bag now.
I'm just reading the website here, so I had that.
Yeah, we don't really promote it a lot,
right.
But certainly, for years, for members that joined here and moved away, we did mail orders.
Yeah.
And, it's the sort of thing that, for people doing mail orders, there's a lot of options for them.
Yeah.
But we certainly, do ship stuff across the country and hopefully don't get any red flags for that.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Yeah, it's
that's
not a
good.
big part of our business, but
No.
I've always thought that one day that like I say, the cat would get out of the bag, and all of a sudden that would become a lot busier than just our local sales. But not at this point.
Yeah, because it's always nice, because to be able to help patients wherever they're at.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah, we have stuff here that people can't find anywhere else in the country, right?
Well, that's the thing. So many are like, I know of people like around here. I live in a town that is still on prohibition. We don't have any legal stores in our municipality because we've opted out twice. And there's people here that were saying, well, if a legal store was here, the patients or the people from the seniors building could just go over to the store and pick up some medicine. But you just look at like price wise, what you guys have available here, that a patient, if they knew about that, I'm sure they would do a mail order versus walking to a store when you could see that you're going to get a stronger quality product, and you can afford it, especially patients that are on a very, very limited income. Like who gets any high amount of dollars on a disability fund?
Yeah, and that's what our club has, or the focus of our club is not just been towards patients, but towards patients that are lower income. When I started my club, I lived in a van and ate in every soup kitchen in town, and it was something that has remained dear to my heart, to be able to have the lowest prices possible. That's why we don't have sales or gimmicks or anything like that. Like, some months we're losing money, some months we're making money. I never really know. I don't have books that are that tight.
Yeah.
But the whole point of this organization is to do the best we can for the people that are just scraping by, and it's been remarkable to be still here doing this work every day at this point.
That's right. I agree. Kim, have you got anything you want to ask Ted before we get into the shout out? And I'm going to read off some comments.
I want to wish him all the best of luck, and I'm going to be following closely, and it's got to be less than 18 months before we have you back.
I hope so.
For sure, exactly. All right, just so you know, our listener, friend of ours, Ron McNabb, past guest here on the show. He's got a few comments on here that I'll read off to you. He says he has mad respect for you, Ted. He says, thank you for all you do and have done for the medical cannabis community. He also says that patients need consumption lounges to safely and comfortably medicate when we're out and about running errands. There's nothing worse than being in pain and having to stand outside in minus 30-degree temperature in order to find relief.
Yeah, here in Ontario, that's what you're at. Ron's a fellow northerner up here with me. And yeah, it's not fun in the winter.
No, yeah. And like Kim and I, he agrees. He sounds like you've got an awesome vision for the patients.
Yeah.
Well, that was very nice of him to say those things.
Yes, exactly. That's what I thought. So I'm going to read these off to you. Alrighty. So, Ted, let's do this as a shout-out time. And Kim will just wrap things up as we get going on here.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, Ted, shout-out, person, place, thing, website. Where can people find you in the club?
Well, right now my thoughts are a lot with Randy Kane and his friends and family. We've just recently lost one of the most honorable men that has stepped into this fight. And Randy has been a pillar in this community. And his recent loss is a very very sad thing for many of us who got to know him personally and professionally. And so I'm just gonna put a shout out to his friends and family. My thoughts are with him.
Thank you. Yes, I know when I saw the post online, I went, "What?" I was surprised. Yeah. Alrighty, Kim.
Yeah, actually, Ted is took what I was going to talk about as well, but I'm good with that. Randy was a fantastic human being. He was the sponsor of IWK, of our 710 Deli Sesh from Hempy's, through Hempy's. You know, he's past guest on the show. Fantastic guy. The drive in him, just did some great things out there in the West Coast. And really just overall great human being. We've had a hell of a month, a hell of a couple of weeks. Of course, Cami Canoli passed away as well, the Hash King. So, I mean, it's been a heck of a time in the cannabis community with loss. And it's just, my thoughts are with all of the families involved and all in the community who loved and knew both men.
That's right. I agree. All right. Just a reminder to everybody know that Kim and I will be back next week with our guest, Matt and Val of Shatterizer. They will be joining us here on the show. You can find the Pace Radio Show on Facebook at Pace Radio. You can also find us on the web at paceradioshow.com. Thank you. Go to our sponsors, the friendly and helpful folks at Legacy 420, as well as BMAHydroponics.com. and the Camel for Lifestyle Shop, and Dr. Buck CTS, which is Dr. Buck's Cannabis Trimming Solutions. And I was talking to him tonight just before the broadcast. We're going to do an OTR broadcast from his location in the coming weeks, so watch for that. And other than that, thank you, Kim and Ted, for everything you both do.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for having me on, folks. It's been nice to hear your voices.
Yes. Until the next time, bye-bye. Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye now.
You know I blame it on industry.
The opinions of the individuals during this broadcast are their own and may not be the opinions of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net. Do you want to hear what patients and cannabis advocates have to say? If so, then catch the Pace Radio Show Wednesday nights here on paceradio.net.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net. You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
At Legacy 420, we believe in being different.
Experience the difference of quality control.
Our labs provide tested formulations for all of our products.
Experience the difference in trust.
Our customers can trust that we are following up-to-date COVID precautions for their safety.
Experience the difference in accessibility.
We're open 7 days a week. Please visit our website, legacy420.com, or contact us for curbside pickup as well as nationwide mail order shipping.
Legacy 420 values overall wellness.
Come and experience the difference of Legacy 420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more, we've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
The People's Alliance of Cannabis in Canada is an organization working to improve cannabis legalization in Canada. They have a mission and values that includes all Canadians, no matter where they come from. The values are including everyone, as no one should be excluded from participating, equality, diversity, advocacy, along with cannabis education and research, plus industry, safety, and professional standards. If this is an organization that has the same values as you, check them out at peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Once again, peoplesallianceofcannabisincanada.ca. Check them out.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
The People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network provides its listeners with news, information, and a place to be heard. This is done with a twice-weekly broadcast of the Reefer Reporters and by providing cannabis advocates a place to be heard through Cannabis and Coffee to Marijuana and the award-winning Pace Radio Show. Catch it all here at paceradio.net.
A doctor's job is to relieve your pains. And when it comes to growing cannabis, the biggest pain is trimming. Let Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions take the pain away. Whether you're a home grower or commercial operation, we have the cure. From 4 plants to 400 plants, garden size doesn't matter. Dr. Buck Cannabis Trimming Solutions comes to you with years of experience and professional discreet service. It's simple. We trim your weed and we do a damn good job. Visit drbuckcts.com to book your trimming.
What is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network? It's a network of people advocating cannabis education.
CP operates a medicinal cannabis signing clinic. If you want to grow your own medicinal cannabis and are located anywhere in Canada, then I'd like to suggest that you give them a call. They can be reached at 1-613-967-9888. That's 1-613-967-9888, and grow on with CP.
Who has huge buds? You do. If you shop at BMA Hydroponics, attend one of BMA's educational seminars and learn the secrets of growing, harvesting, processing, and consuming quality cannabis and cannabis products. Learn how to make better extracts, edibles, and medicinal creams at prices you can afford. Visit BMA Hydroponics at 404 Maitland Drive, Belleville, or call 613-967-9888.
The only way to go.
We are People Advocating Cannabis Education here at paceradio.net.